Mary Kay, did you want to say something?
I would if I might.
Okay,
First of all, in response to the question that was asked about downtown Columbia, I'd love to talk with people afterwards.
Okay, great.
But I wanted to mention something that came across my desk today that might be of interest to people here, because I know land use and the future is important to folks. The Maryland Department of Planning is actually holding public meetings in April and May, and they're starting to craft Plan Maryland, which is the growth plan for the state for the next X number of years. And if there's anybody, and we're all welcome to come and join into the planning process.
Right.
And I received information today, which I did pass on to Bridget Lugani, and I think she posted to the HCCA listserv. And if there's anybody that would like information on it, wants to just leave me an email, I'd be happy to send that, because it looks like a really wonderful opportunity to be part of the process.
Thanks for that. We have, I think that's already on the list to go on our next e-newsletter, so you should find it there. And I agree with Mary Kay that it's a good thing to attend, but remember, this is the general talk. This is just ideas it's the real decisions get made at the county level, when the decisions are made on what's going to happen. But it can help. It can absolutely help, and I think it's a good idea. And if we don't already have it on our list, Dan, let's be sure to do it. So I want to take us back before we close. Those of you know that, and stay around as long as you like until they tell us we have to leave, that it is important to me to pay attention to my inner voice, my inner self, to check in with myself and make sure that as best I can that I'm sticking to the values and principles that I believe. So I have various authors who become my favorites from time to time, and one of my current favorites is Thomas Merton. He was a Christian monk, a Catholic monk. He died about 42 years ago. There's been a resurrection of his book called Seven Story Mountain. As a young man, he was really quite the bon vivant, very lively life, and he decided to enter the monastery and became one of the best Western writers of all time on meditation and an inner life and inner peace. And he writes that it's important, first of all, just like, for example, the Buddha said, he went to the mountain and meditated for years and then came down into the marketplace and worked for 45 years. And so does Thomas Merton say, yes, it's important to have to reflect, to meditate, if you will, to get to know ourselves inside and really know, what we're doing, and not only what we're saying, but what we're thinking and what's going on inside of us, and then to take it out into the world. And then he says, and this is something else, I learned this first from Bob Duggan, and Bob told me this is not news with me. Do you know him? One of the founders of the Acupuncture Institute. And by the way, I got to sit next to Diane Connolly today at Lucille's service. It was really wonderful. Anyway, he says that it's important to work in the world and give it all we've got, but don't be attached to outcomes. Now that is really a lesson, isn't it? Don't be attached to outcomes. Don't do it with a focus on whether you're going to win or lose. Do what you believe is right action and do it for itself. So somehow the governor got word I had talked to him. Somehow he knew that I was on a Thomas Merton phase. And I meant to bring it with me because I think this is just so cool that, because I don't see the governor. I'm not with him every day by a long shot. Not even every week do I get to talk to him. But he sent me a handwritten letter, and he said that he's reading Thomas Merton. And he wrote his favorite quote, and I wanted to bring it, and I didn't. So I'll do the best I can. He said that there's a time when man, and pardon us, women, that's the word he used, there's a time when man must do nothing. There's a time when man must just be silent and sit and do nothing. And that unless we take time to do that, how can we know, what and now I'm massacring it to tell you the truth, but how can we know that we're following, you know, our own heart, for lack of a better word? So I think that's, I wanted to give my Thomas Merton quote for itself, because I love it. Don't be attached to outcomes. Bob Duggan said to me once, he said, "Did you get my message on that?" And I said, "Yes, I got it, and I hated it." And, don't be caught up in winning and losing. Do what you think is right because you think it's right. And then for the governor to send me that message, I thought, that's got to say something good about some things going on in Annapolis, that he would be paying attention to things like that. So thank every one of you for coming out. Stay in touch. Stay in touch.